I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. Not because I'm smart, because I just said some words and I did happen to get lucky. But we have just come out of the Elimination Chamber. Obviously, that PLE was over the weekend. We get an episode of Raw, and for my money, it felt very WrestleMania focused. You can start to see the card shaping. And we had some all-time promos, once again, from CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Though actually, it wasn't the favorite segment on the show for me. If you are aware of my content, you know what I'm going to talk about. Oh my gosh, I'm going to gush about it. I'm going to be annoying, but I forewarned you, so I think that's fair. But hello, my friends, my dudes, my everybody. I am Simon Miller. I'm a wrestling content creator. You know the deal. I'm a wrestler too. We try and do daily uploads here, so please do hit the subscribe button. Do a bunch of other stuff that you can do down there with YouTube, which sounds disgusting. Otherwise, let's talk about Raw. Also, wonderfully, this video is sponsored by NordVPN, so thank you very much to Nord. And if you don't know what a VPN is, it essentially allows you to keep your internet surfing, to use that word, safe, whether you're at home or whether you're going abroad. And also, if you are going to travel, and this obviously ties into my situation last week because I wasn't here. I did go away. I took some time, and because I was in a different country, and I wanted to access my subscriptions that I have here in the United Kingdom, I can use a VPN, and that allows me to do that, which of course is going to be huge help for professional wrestling, depending when you are located. Even better than that, because Nord are wonderful people, you can go to nordvpn.com/Simon Miller right now. There is a link in the description below, and you are going to get 4 months free on a 2-year subscription plan. And I can tell you, as someone who quite literally uses Nord, it's so simple to use. Anybody could do it, even if the internet scares you for some reason. And again, there's loads of stuff that you are going to be able to benefit from, including keeping your internet connection safe and being able to access all of your favorite subscription services, whatever it may be. It's just the way to access the internet in 2026. And I wouldn't talk about it if A, I didn't use it myself, and B, I didn't think it was super duper whooper good. So again, thank you very much, Nord. I appreciate you. Make sure you click the link down there. Make sure you do get yourself a deal. And if you don't like it, they do a money back guarantee. But I promise you, you're going to think it's lovely. So, yes, Monday Night Raw. Where the hell are we going to start? You know what? We'll start with CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Why the flub not? I will give you a treat. What does that mean? Doesn't make any sense in the world. But they came out after a very good match between Penta and Dominic Mysterio that we'll also talk about. And essentially, they just proved for the second time that they have to be the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. I think the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 has just as much gravitas, but if you want to argue about that, go nuts, man. Why not? Whatever keeps the lights on. But it's just, there's nothing else that could go there. Mostly from a Jeopardy point of view. I have no idea who's going to win this. Because CM Punk absolutely needs to win, and Roman Reigns absolutely needs to win, and that is the kind of wonderfulness you need when you do have, like I say, a WrestleMania main event. But Roman Reigns made his 47th return to WWE in 2026. He asked for some acknowledgement. CM Punk does acknowledge him, and then they just get into it, with certain highlights being that tweet from Elimination Chamber weekend when Roman Reigns essentially said, "I don't know who was more tired, the champion or the crowd." And Punk was like, "Yeah, I saw your tweet. It didn't hurt my feelings. And of course I'm tired. Look at the bags under my eyes. It's because I have to carry all of your BS all the way through to WrestleMania." I was like, right, I'm locked in. This is wonderful. And of course, the best thing about all CM Punk feuds, and Roman Reigns was right there because he's so good as a character, is it does feel like they hate each other. You could totally believe it. And that's what they argued about too. Punk was like, "You're right where I want you because you told me you hate me." And Roman was like, "Of course I hate you. But if you didn't have the championship, I wouldn't even care about you. And let's actually go through the list that WWE told me why they did bring you back, to sell some t-shirts, to pop a house in Chicago, and for all the 30 to 40-year-old virgins that live with their mum and dad." And I'm like, well, that's very interesting. So he does beat him at WrestleMania. He's sending him back to NXT after a John Cena retirement tour, and every single person the CM Punk mentors will be brought up to the main roster, and Roman Reigns will beat him. He'll smash him. I was like, this is great. This is so damn wonderful. He just piled on to CM Punk so hard. Punk then flips out and is all like, "Dude, you're all alone. You've got nobody. Like, you talk about your cousins, but they're with me now." Like flipping Star Wars or something. "But you lost the Shield. You lost the Bloodline. You lost the Wise Man. I took him from you. So, you know, you're just following me. Every step of your career is just following what I've done." And listen, I've skipped over loads here, but let's get to the big line, because CM Punk basically said, "I know how you won't be alone anymore. I will bury you at WrestleMania and will put you next to your dad." And of course, Roman Reigns' dad died either last year or the year before that. He's a very famous pro wrestler, part of the Wild Samoans. And I was like, oh my gosh. Now, my biggest worry is that obviously CM Punk went through a very tragic personal situation recently. I would imagine that Roman Reigns is going to talk about that. So I'm going to watch all of this through gritted teeth. But it's exactly what you want from a pro wrestling angle of this level. Deep down, I think if we sat down, acted like human beings, of course this is all not necessarily approved on beforehand, but I'd imagine they have shaken hands and said, listen, we're going to go out there and say whatever we want. But you can suspend your disbelief. You can totally buy that CM Punk hates Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kept calling him Phil, and while that's quite a wrestling trope when you do want to get this kind of level of feeling across, somehow when Roman Reigns does it, it feels like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. This is a long old back and forth. I can't remember how long it was, but probably 15 or so minutes. You should watch every single second of it because that's how good it was. And again, going back to what we did just say, it's also completely confused me about who is going to win. Who is going to come out of top here? I have no flubbing idea. Like, there's arguments for both. I mean, usually Roman Reigns does go away after WrestleMania, but if Roman loses here, I mean, that changes everything. If CM Punk loses, I would imagine, I don't know whether I like this or not, that WWE probably has a moments idea. You know, they're always into their moments. And the Usos are being brought up a lot. So I wonder if we may be reforming the bloodline. I don't believe that, by the way. I've just said that because sometimes I rant and rave on these videos. As you will know if you check out my video on Danhausen yesterday, which you should do. I enjoyed making that. And even if you hate it, you can just call me an absolute loser. It's totally fine, but absolutely top tier WrestleMania promoing. And if we are going to get into this stupid Mania 1, Mania 2 main event night debate thingamajig, CM Punk obviously is going to be in that match, so he's ticked both those boxes. And off the back of these performances, he totally deserves it. Because again, he just makes his feuds feel so damn important. And that's what you want. It goes back to what I said 24 hours ago. I need my serious wrestling. Here it is. And I need my goofy wrestling. And I also got that on this show as well. Roman Reigns just fantastic too. Like if Roman was going to beat CM Punk, and there's some ideas coming out of WrestleMania, I think it could leave CM Punk in actually not a good position, but it would be a good position. Like John Cena sometimes lost the championship, and it was actually more interesting for him. I guess you could tie it to Cody Rhodes as well. But this was just absolutely fantastic. Like it really was. I can't say enough good things about it, and I haven't even gone through it beat by beat here, although I did over on What Culture, so make sure you go check out my freelance ups and downs review, where I'm also returned to doing those as well. You may not have liked it, so make sure you drop me a comment below, but I just think they're on fire right now. And listen, it's the 3rd of March. We've got around about 6 weeks until WrestleMania. You can't do this every single week, so hopefully we do have some ideas. I don't know if Roman's going to be on the show next week. I don't think he was advertised. I imagine Punk will be, but even if you did take a week off, there is enough heat here. There is enough madness, and once more, when either Roman gets a mic or he addresses CM Punk, if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's probably good, and I hope I'm wrong, but they're leaning so far into the reality of Joe Anoa'i and Phil Brooks in their own words, I can't imagine it wouldn't come up, and it gives me the fear, and I also think that's a testament to both of them, that they can make me buy in to this degree. Like when my brain is in wrestling brain, I'm just buying every single word they are saying. Massive round of applause. It's absolutely superb. However, it was not the best thing that I saw on this show. I'm going to do my best to try and explain this, and I'm not 100% sure that I can. And it's not a shade against anybody else, because I know what people like on the internet. I like an apple. Oh, I can't believe you don't like waffles. Like, what the hell are you talking about? But I think the reason that Danhausen is going to fit in so well with WWE is because WWE has always had goofiness. We talked about this. I'm not going to talk about it again. But Danhausen is like an updated model of it. It's just so bizarre in the best possible way to just sort of get myself out of jail here. It just feels very 2026. So when he did approach Adam Pearce and called him, what did he call him? Like Cold Stone Steve Austin, and said, oh, I get it, Adam Pearce. That's why you're wearing the glasses, like he was Superman. And he had a list of demands. And the list of demands were funny, right? It was like a photo with Triple H. It was being inducted to the Hall of Fame this year, which really made me laugh. His own personal assistant. He wants all his cameramen. But it's when he said, the reason I deserve this, and of course he called them, was it Hausen demands? No, demand Hausens. I got that totally wrong. It's because of his 100% positive reaction at the Elimination Chamber. I think this is why I like the Danhausen character so much, because I love people that can lean into things that are somewhat controversial, I suppose. Well, that word is not the right word. I used it yesterday as well. I laughed out loud. I watched this 3 times. I thought it was so funny. And it's so many little bits to it that I just think makes it even better. And that was one of them. That was the big one in your face. The fact that he just thinks he got this overwhelming response. I'm happy to pretend that WWE planted those boos just for this joke. It's not. It's because Danhausen is so damn good at this stuff. And I would imagine doesn't take himself seriously at all and has the brain in order to deal with it. But Adam Pearce then tries to get out of this. Also, the note got dropped in the toilet. That ain't even a funny joke. But the way it was delivered made me laugh. The Judgment Day then walk in, so Adam Pearce just brings them in instead. Adam Pearce sold all this wonderfully. Eventually, obviously, Dominic Mysterio doesn't want Danhausen to touch the IC title, so he gets cursed. And we'll also talk about curses in 1 minute. But something that I noticed like the 3rd time I watched it, because I am a massive nerd, is the way that the Judgment Day sells the curse. Brilliant, right? It is the opposite to Chris Jericho's list. Nobody should sell this curse. Everybody should act like the curse is so stupid, but then of course it comes back to haunt you later on. The way that Finn Balor and JD and Dom all laugh like, what? Oh no, what are we going to do? Made it even better. Then of course JD McDonough dropped the Batman line after Danhausen had disappeared. I just thought it was great, and I just thought it was wonderful, and it made me so damn happy. It's exactly the kind of stuff, well, it's just Danhausen. That's all it is. We're overcomplicating things here. It's just Danhausen on WWE TV. But because WWE does all this mad stuff, he just fits into it like a glove. I really did think this was excellent. Talking about the curse as well, the curse isn't meant to do anything. However, at the same time, it is. It's so difficult to explain, but I think if you're not aware of Danhausen, you can just go along for the ride. I used this description once, or this comparison once, I use it again. It's like when Paul Heyman used to go, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Then you thought, well, that means it's 100% going to happen. And what you do is you start cursing people, and amazingly, it keeps working. For example, he curses Dom, he loses the IC Championship that night. That's not down to the curse, but maybe Danhausen got in his head psychologically. But also, if you do this for like 6 months, anytime Danhausen does curse someone, that wrestler will then have a meltdown, because even though the curse isn't real, they've seen the evidence based on the last half of a year, and now they're worried about it. That is why it's so tremendous. I don't want to get into other things that I may have discussed with certain people about all this, but trust me, man, it's so smart the way that he treats that. I just thought all of it was great. And the fact that Dominic Mysterio did lose his belt, which I was not anticipating, and we'll talk about that in just 1 second, I cannot say enough good stuff about this. Is it rare? I don't know if it's rare. It probably is rare for me to watch something 3 times and then re-laugh at the thing the 3rd time after I left it for an hour. But this did make me laugh out loud on the 3rd time after I'd left it for an hour. I'm going to say what I always say. People say, why do you always say this, Simon? Because you don't see my DMs. And quite clearly, people don't listen to me, so I feel like I have to double down every single time, which is essentially 100 down. I don't care if you thought it was the unfunniest thing ever. I don't care if you don't like the character of Danhausen. More power to you. But a show should be filled with variety. And this has got me so pumped for what Danhausen is going to do over the next year or so. I think it's going to be brilliant. And it's exactly what I need on my wrestling show like this. The whole skit was, 2 minutes? And it just raised my enjoyment factor up a notch. And that allowed me to enjoy the next thing that happens. That's how this stuff works. It's like when you're watching a bad movie, but you're having a bad meal. All of a sudden, the movie feels better, or you can enjoy it a different way. And it's because you filled up your tum-tum. One of the best things WWE's done all year. As for that Dominic versus Penta match as well, like I say, so well done. Ties into the breakup of the Judgment Day, you would imagine, because Dominic was going to use the bull hammer, Wade Barrett's finisher, the ring hammer, and Finn Balor stopped JD from giving it to him. So all of a sudden, he goes to the 619, he misses, Penta hits the Penta driver, not the Penta driver, the Mexican Destroyer, and he gets the 3. Everybody goes crazy. It was the right thing to do, because as much as I love Dom and as much as he's going to be a super duper whooper star for years to come, we had lost momentum with the title based on WWE's booking in 2025, and the injury that Dominic very sadly suffered in 2026. But at the same time, Penta needed something like this. He's been directionless, and he's here, let's say. He needs to be up here. I've always advocated for him going all the way to the world title. Hopefully this will be a stepping stone to it. He has a connection with the crowd, which is all you need, and he just character is so flipping good. And he can cut promos as well. He had a quick video here, which I thought was very good as well. There was an awesome near fall after the Penta driver, which actually made the finish even better, because, oh my gosh, we did do it. And yeah, by WrestleMania, the Judgment Day should be done, or at least there should be some friction there. We should be going into maybe an IC title match where Finn Balor, Dominic, JD, and Penta are all involved. But it was fantastic. You should watch it. It's the main event of the show, and then of course Punk and Roman Reigns come afterwards. But it's just really, really good. I mean, they've always had good matches, Dom and Penta. Dominic obviously loves wrestlers that are named after shapes. I really hope we can come up with some cool stuff here when it comes to Penta and give him an elongated reign. Even if it was till WrestleMania, there's still a good solid 6 weeks. And it is a mid-card tier title, so I think that's okay to not be as tied to it, I suppose, as a world championship, where often you'll get long reigns. Fantastic match. Finn Balor and JD McDonough paid their part. It was funny that they didn't do anything, but Penta looked at them at one point. Even Michael Cole was like, Dominic Mysterio smacked him. It's like, well, that's your fault, Penta. Why are you looking at these guys? But I get it, right? It was structured very, very well. Really good. Really loved it, and I'm excited to see what they do next. Same as Gunther versus Dragon Lee. I mean, the only reason Dragon Lee tapped out, well, no, it was doubly well done, because he had the match won, Gunther, after a couple of powerbombs where he did the whole pickup spot, but it was his hubris that basically took him out of this. Had an awesome count-out tease when Dragon hit Operation Dragon on the outside and Gunther got back in at 9.999. And then even when he had the sleeper on, Gunther had to be a massive dickhead because he pulled the mask off, and you actually saw a shot of Dragon Lee's face. I know, he's not even a dragon. What's going on? How are we ever going to go to bed at night with these lies laying in our brain? But he would have tapped tapped out anyway, you'd have to imagine. I like the fact he did it instantly because it really sells the idea of how important a mask is in Mexico if you don't watch CMLL or AAA or other Mexican promotions. But also, again, it makes Gunther an absolute asshole. There was no way that Dragon Lee could win here, although they still got me on that count-out spot as almost like a get-out-of-jail-free card, so more power to them. I don't know whether we do another match, because Gunther doing that is quite disrespectful, but it's good filler stuff as we wait until WrestleMania, and that's genuinely why I liked it. I don't think WWE's decided what to do with Gunther, which is mad. He needs to have a big match and he needs to win. But if you're not there, I think this is a great way to keep Dragon Lee active, to keep Gunther active. Dragon Lee now needs to go on to something as well, but very, very good, and it was the start of the show as well, so that was awesome. On the counter spin to that, you had the AJ Lee promo. Awesome for her, and I think it's very nice. It's her first title win in 12 years. She basically put an open challenge in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, so it could be anybody, really. I came up by accident. Or maybe Paige is going to come out and we're going to redo that from however long ago it was. That's based on nothing. The way she said an open challenge, I thought you could do it. There's loads of people that did talk about the IC title on this show. I mean, there's Bayley, there was Lyra Valkyria, there was Asuka. Did Kairi Sane say something? Raquel definitely did. That was hilarious. Liv went, Raquel, you could fight for the IC title. And Raquel was like, oh my gosh, I can. Like, she'd never had this idea in her life. Like, you wake up and you say to your partner, you could have some food to start the day. Like, oh my gosh, I usually only eat at 7:42. So I really, really enjoyed that. But we have a long list of people that could do it. I mean, Bayley and Lyra's conversation was all about this. But for whatever reason, and this is based on me, so I'll take the fall here. You should throw your hate at me 100%. There's something it's not working, it's not the right word. Something's not clicking for me with the AJ Lee stuff at the moment. Really like the match of the pay-per-view between her and Becky Lynch. But I wasn't really fired up at the end of this promo, and I think it was meant to be a fired up promo. So that's kind of my back and forth with the WrestleMania build. Super into seeing what Gunther is going to do after he kind of destroyed, but not really dragging him. Well, he did. He whooped his ass. But then with AJ Lee, I want to see these matches, like Asuka versus AJ Lee, I think would be fantastic. But I would want Asuka to win, and Asuka's an emotional manipulator, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I really would like your thoughts about this. As I always say, you cannot expect every single second and every single minute of a wrestling show to be for you. That makes you a sociopath. There's 52, shouldn't say that stuff. There's 52 weeks of programming in a year for all these companies. So you can't hit a perfect home run. It's absolutely impossible. There's just no way. It would be mad. You would be lying to yourself. But I like AJ Lee, but at the moment I'm missing something. I don't know what it is. And listen, I like to be educated, so please do jump in. But it's good that we did do this, and I think Becky Lynch will win it back at WrestleMania. So in between, then AJ Lee can have a bunch of matches she's never had matches with before. That can only be a good thing. Opening segment is what it was. I'm very excited about what we're going to do with Seth Rollins. Nobody wants to be injured, but I think there could be an upside to it. Because Paul Heyman and Logan Paul and Austin Theory come out, they're all mad. Seth Rollins shouldn't be able to breathe the air. Austin Theory, man, I just don't think this is the role for him. I like Austin Theory a lot. I just don't think it's right. Like, he was getting booed and everyone was saying, you suck. And he went, you can't say that to me. You could only say that if Seth Rollins was in the ring. I was like, dude, that's a 4-year-old. I know what you are, but what am I? Like, you need more. You just need more. Anyway, eventually a bunch of masked men come out, which I liked. That was kind of cool. Goes to show that Seth Rollins has been sending a bunch of masked men to confuse the vision, and essentially he gets in the ring with Paul Heyman, which makes sense because Austin Theory and Logan Paul didn't join until after Seth Rollins was gone. He gives him the chair shot, he gives him the curb stomp, and Paul Heyman has to go to a local medical facility in a local medical facility wagon. And Seth Rollins, I think, should just be a cool, badass babyface. Nice and simple. Push him all the way. Of course, he's Seth Rollins. It would be interesting because the main event scene is quite stacked right now, but there is nothing wrong with that. Seth Rollins getting back to that and being sort of an upper mid-card player for a while is great for the card because Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers that WWE has had for the last decade or so. So there's always a plus to doing that. It's why I think that Roman Reigns should have done more mid-card stuff. It's the wrong words because the whole card is important. But he's such a big star. If he pops up sort of, 2.5 hours into a 4-hour show, it just gets you going again. It's like the Danhausen stuff. But I'm very excited about what we could do with Seth Rollins. I think this may be a better fit for him. And the Vision got their asses kicked all night, which they needed. They are the heel group because when Paul Heyman was being taken to hospital, Jimmy Uso assaulted everybody else and LA Knight drove the ambulance away. That is a crime. And we never saw LA Knight and Paul Heyman for the rest of the show. They stole an injured man and we don't know if he got the medical treatment he needed. It's wonderful WWE. These are the good guys. these are not the actions of good people, but very, very, very fun. And I didn't particularly care for Austin Theory versus Jimmy Uso just because it ended in a DQ. Turns out I'm just bored of disqualifications right now, even though WWE's way more reserved, and they should be reserved for the Vision. I've just seen it too many times, and I knew it was coming. So it's like popping a balloon. However, Jey Uso did return, if we can call it that, only died on SmackDown, and I hit the 1D on Austin Theory. That is going to be the WrestleMania match. I think it'd be Logan Paul and Austin Theory versus the Usos. I think that could be why we took out Paul Heyman so soon as well, although you'd have to figure, what does Seth Rollins do? I could be wrong there, but I think you need to light a fire under that, and the Usos need their revenge too, and I think Austin Theory and Logan Paul would probably win for the sake of the Vision. But it was a very, very fun and a very, very good segment, and the match did what it had to do as well, and Jey Uso got a massive pop, which absolutely cracked me up, because everyone on the internet hates him. Not me, Jey Uso. You'll never watch this video, because why the flub would you? You're a successful WWE superstar. I think you're excellent, and I think you bring a level of wonderfulness and joy to Monday Night Raw, and it's better when you're honest. Otherwise, we had the El Grande Americanos going at it, and the OG won here, because eventually we'll do El Grande 1 versus El Grande 2. Ludwig Kaiser will win. I think we'll unmask Chad Gable, and he'll be going back to Chad Gable. Bunch of interference, but it's fine. It's a very, very fun feud. And we did Rusev versus Obafemi, or at least the tease of it is going to go down next week. Rusev essentially came out and said, I heard you, Obafemi. So Oba came out and did his whole walk. I love it. He's going to war, but he's still going to strut into it. And Obafemi got the best of it, gave him a chokeslam. They looked at each other to make it super serious. Once again, nice and simple for me. Big men slapping man meat, and I'm pumped to see it. That's all I ever need from wrestling. It's a weekly entertainment show. I can't wait to see that match. You know the deal with Obafemi. I think he should beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and then go on to win some world championships. Rusev's always going to be one of my favorites. He's massively underrated. Didn't like the Maxine Dupree Natty stuff. I don't know why. Natty cut a fine promo. I like the character being on Raw, but listen, it's just one of those stories that's not for me. Didn't really like that knockout angle from last week. Well, I liked it, but I thought it was too silly. I think if Natty's trying to be a killer, maybe we need to go in a different direction. But loads of people did like it, so that is cool. And Javon Evans had a Netflix promo as well. I thought the follow-up was a bit lame because he was in the Elimination Chamber. But in terms of Javon, what a wonderful, happy, excitable dude. That's just fantastic. It kind of goes back to my Danhausen thing. Just perfect for 2026. A young guy with youthful energy and quite literally bounces around. His nickname is Bouncy. Big fan of Javon Evans. And maybe that's why I didn't like the follow-up, because I think we need to stick him into something massive for WrestleMania, because he's going to be such a big deal for WWE. He's just of that level to me. And Rhea Ripley and Io Sky basically broke up in a nice way too. Rhea, of course, is going to SmackDown because she won the Elimination Chamber. I'd imagine Io does join her because she's gone after that US title, but that could be WrestleMania, and she did come out of Adam Pearce's office once, so maybe she's also asked for an IC title shot, and who doesn't want to see AJ Lee versus Io Sky? But it was just nice. I think it was nice based on everything they have done over the last however long they've been doing this, a year or so, just less than that, because of course the WrestleMania match was last April. But they've done wonders for the Women's Tag Team Championships, lost them on SmackDown, of course, and as long as we carry on the momentum there, all good. Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, we'll get to it. Let's just wait and see before we do talk about it. But that is what we should be doing at WrestleMania. And Io Sky is fantastic. And again, they can stand on their own. They're super duper whooper stars. And I would say there was probably a little bit of life left in this team. But WWE did the right thing and they left it out there. So if you do want to revisit it, it's not going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we've gone back to this. So yes, all of it was actually very, very good. I think that was most of everything that happened on Raw. I enjoyed it a lot, which is interesting because after the fact, when I looked on social media, some people weren't into it, but I, like I say, thought all of a sudden we focused very heavily on WrestleMania, and Rhea versus Jade I'm into. Obviously Roman versus CM Punk I think is fantastic. I convinced myself of that Raw tag team match. I didn't talk about Liv Morgan either, who cut a very good video promo package, basically telling Stephanie Vicaire, I know you're great and you do deserve wonderful things in your life, so you can have the privilege of wrestling me at WrestleMania. And really leaning into this idea, I got signed when I was 20, you have to go on the horrific indie scene. Ugh. Who would want to do that? But Liv Morgan is great. She totally understands it. So a solid episode of Raw to me, and I'm starting to get excited about WrestleMania, even though I probably couldn't predict half the card right now. But I am giving it a thumb. Now, as always, what you think is way more important than me, so please do drop me a comment below and let me know. Obviously, nordvpn.com/Simon as well to take advantage of that. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. My big rant, it's about Danhausen, but it's not. It's a 22-minute rant about professional wrestling, and people have sent me very nice things about it, so please do check it out. I'll make sure there's a thing on the screen right now. Otherwise, it is grillamine.com/Simon. Use code Simon to get 10% off ships worldwide. Brand new rainbow sherbet flavor out now, and it's just so damn nice. They're my favorite supplements. I don't even care anymore. I use them. I think they rule. Patreon.com/Simon316, Simon316 on the old social media. Simon on TikTok for dumb wrestling videos. Under the Mat for my Between Two Ferns AEW type interview show. Brand new episode today, which is very exciting. Pro Wrestling Tees and Cameo for a message from me. Why wouldn't you want that? Thank you for being lovely people, and even the ones that send me hate, that's great as well. It's all engagement for me, which somehow is my job. Goodbye.